right, time to talk about why AA is one of, if not the worst community you could actually get into. So, when it comes to substance abuse and actually overcoming it, are you going to sit there and surround yourself with people that are basically going to victim blame you for like every mistake that you make? Like for instance, with substance abuse, with in regards to AA, if you if you lapsed or relapsed and everything, the people in AA would turn around like, oh, you must have left something out on your four step. So then like you redo your four step or whatever. You turn around, maybe you relapse 3 or 4 months down the road again. Oh, hey, maybe you're not going to enough meetings, or you're going to the wrong meetings. And every time you screw up, the victim blame you to the point where like, hey, look, you did this wrong, like you didn't do your four step right, you didn't go to the right meetings, you're not doing enough service work, or basically they're going to be moving the goalpost around, saying you didn't do something right, when in fact there really is no evidence to suggest that doing anything in AA actually works. So what you want to do, instead of surrounding yourself of a community of people that are basically going to victim blame you for every mistake you make, and then take all the credit for like every time you actually succeed, and they basically are going to trap you in AA. In that, for instance, if you leave AA, you're going to be doomed to either jails, institution, or death. They will say that they may not come out right and say that, but it's heavily implied, at least implied, that like, hey, look, if you leave, those are your only options. And in fact, if I had known about the options, the actual options that are out there that are actually better, I would not have joined AA in the first place. Now, I'm going to come at it from the point of smart recovery, because that's what I'm familiar with. Now, there's also the other programs that I've gone over, like the Phoenix Recovery program, like there's Reach Out Recovery, like the Rational Recovery, the secular organizations of sobriety. So there are other options, but I'm going to stick with smart recovery, because that is what I'm familiar with. With the whole regard to smart recovery, they put you in the driver's seat. Like, hey, look, the whole a little pie chart that they do, you rate things on like a 1 to 10, and then you can sit there and do a little circle inside it, and you are rating yourself pretty much like where do you see yourself right now, and what are you placing values on, and you are actually working with people that have your best interest at heart and are not going to sit there and victim blame you oh, hey, you made a mistake by going into a bar and lapsed and had a couple drinks. Okay, so let's actually get into let's peel back things and what led up to it, getting into the 4 points of the smart recovery. Okay, well, what led your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, what led up to that, leading you to that, so we can actually get to the problem, instead of, like I said, with AA, victim blaming, oh, hey, you left something out in your fourth step. Oh no, wait, no, you didn't go to the right meetings, or you didn't go to enough meetings, or you didn't call your sponsor enough, or changing that goalpost around to pretty much blame you for a mistake that you made, instead of getting into the actual oh, hey, let's take a step back and take an objective look at this and see where we actually messed up and everything. So this is why surrounding yourself with people that actually have your best interests at heart is going to be beneficial. Now, that's not necessarily going to say that you're going to want to surround yourself with people that are just going to the yes men, hey, look, I want to go do this and everything, and everyone's like, yeah, and you want to surround yourself with people that oh, hey, look, this band's going out to play at this local bar, and I love them and everything. Instead of having the people that are like, oh yeah, let's all go, and knowing that you have a substance abuse problem, you have people like, hey, look, yeah, you like this band and everything, but is that a good idea? Because every time you put yourself in situations like that, you drink, and oh yeah, okay, so maybe I can have someone record it or something, or maybe they have do record their show, and you can catch the show on the flip side. So you remove yourself from the situation, and and it's okay, the band's playing that on maybe a Friday night. Instead of doing that, I like to think instead of checking out for the weekend, most people do with the happy hour analogy that I like to use, you get yourself to the gym, and then like when you get done at the gym, you go home, and then like Saturday morning you can catch like the flip side, the show on the flip side type of deal, instead of going out to the bar and like putting yourself at risk and everything. Now, in that kind of analogy, like AA members would actually sit there and blame you, and like, hey, look, it's all your fault. It's because you're a worthless alcoholic, and you're like you're basically like diseased and unable to move forward. And so like you need to make a meeting instead and everything. And like that's not the point of surrounding yourself with people that you know are going to sit there and blame you for every little mistake that you do and everything. What you want to do is to surround yourself with people that are actually going to lift you up and not like beat you down and everything. Now, like a lot of times, like, with people in AA, that's what they do and everything. So, in my experiences in AA, if I actually, like I said, if I had known about the alternatives beforehand, I would not have joined AA, because they drive home that like a fear of, like I said, if you leave, you're going to be drinking again, and like you, like pretty much you need us to basically victim blame you and like basically like beat you down and treat you like shit and everything. Whereas like, no, you don't need that and everything. So that's what really hung me up and what kept me in AA for so long, is that that fear mongering that they do of like you need to stay in AA, and or else, like I said, jail's institution or death. They pretty much drive through that to your head, that like if you don't do this, those are your only alternatives. And in fact, like I just mentioned, several of the alternatives. Now, of course, if you're in AA and you realize, oh hey, this is nothing but bullshit and everything, it's kind of hard to get like past that, like that fear mongering that they use. And so this is why you don't want to surround yourself with people from AAs, because like they sit there and want to suck you in and get you dependent on the AA meetings instead of being able to move on with your life. What you want to do is get rid of those people and surround yourself with people that are, like I keep reiterating, are going to want to lift you up and see you succeed in everything and be able to move on with life and everything. So it's probably been like 6-7 years or so, at least, or so, since I've been to an AA meeting. And of course, according to AA, I'm not an alcoholic, or I never was, and yet they turn around and like moving that goalpost and like saying like only you can say that you're one. But like you have to get into that's pretty much self-deprecation, like I'm a fucking worthless alcoholic. No, I say this is like, look, you had a drinking problem or a substance abuse problem or whatever. Move past that and everything. Get into something like Smart Recovery or the Phoenix program, and move on with your life. Get down to the root causes. Work like if you're someone who needs to work with a professional, definitely get professional help and everything. And like and of course, like yes, there are a lot of counselors out there that who might not necessarily know of all the things like that go on in AA, especially like if you watch the 13-step documentary, you get into like a lot of the horror stories that people have gone through AA, and get into like the things like the orange papers and everything. You'll realize, oh wait, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Maybe I do need to find those alternatives that, like I mentioned, like Smart Recovery, SOS, Rational Recovery, Reach Out Recovery, stuff like that. So that way you can actually get down to like the root causes and be able to move on with your life. Now, if you're like me and in an area where there's only AA meetings, what's great is that we now have this thing called a cell phone that is connected to the internet. So now we don't necessarily have to like physically go to like a meeting, like in my case where there's pretty much only AA meetings around. I can sit here and use this phone and be like, you know what, I know AA is completely bullshit, so I need to like I need to start deprogramming myself from having to do that, like surround myself with like those people that are basically going to beat me down and victim blame me for every little mistake I do. I'm going to start coming online here and getting into like a lot of the other organizations. And okay, instead of like on Friday night going to like that the AA meeting I always go to, I use the same same time frame. Okay, the local library's open. I put like some headphones in. I get on this, and now I replace it with like an online meeting or I find like a Facebook group, or like I go through Instagram or any one of the social media apps. I use those to be able to connect with people that have like oh hey look, while I was on break at work, I found like this really interesting tidbit on like there's a smart recovery that does like virtual meetings, and so I'm going to go to this. So like I said, you go to the library, you sit down, you put your headphones in, you start listening to the meeting, and like quite possibly you could sit there and like maybe someone's hosting a live, like I'm recording right now. They're live on like say YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and you can sit there and comment like, oh hey look, I had a question about this and everything, and like you can hack. It's not necessarily as direct as like a face-to-face, but it would be a definite good substitute. Like I said, if you're stuck in an area that has only AA meetings and you know like it's complete bullshit, so you just basically flip the script with the habit and the behavior. Okay, I used to go to an AA meeting from 6 to 7 on Friday nights. The local library is still open. I'm going to go to that, and from 6 to 7, I'm going to, like I said, pop in the headphones and listen to the smart recovery or rational recovery or whatever meeting that's going on at that time that might be happening in a different location. So that that way you can start actually surrounding yourself with a better community. And that, of course, the 7 pillars of Swim Alarmist, that's the first pillar. So you basically are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So are you going to surround yourself with people that are basically going to have that screw you attitude and constantly beat you down and victim blame you for every mistake that you make? Or are you going to start looking for people that are going to help you get better, and so that way you can turn around and actually help people get better as well?